Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to my channel. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but here I am. I am back. So I wanted to make this video to talk about where I've been, where I'm going, and what the future holds. Last time we talked with one another, I had just attempted to break the US national record in static apnea, and I failed. That was December 1st. Over the past month, I've held my breath 0 times. But before we get into that, let's talk about my setup. As you can see, things are a little bit different. I started a podcast, which I don't know if any of you know about it, but I will share with you now. It's called Stargonauts. You can find it on Spotify. And I essentially just do recordings and podcasts with breath holders. I got a new mic to improve the quality. And I figured, you know what? I might start using this in my YouTube videos as well when I can. So when doing an update like this, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it out. I'm going to test it out. So here I am testing it out. You guys have to let me know what you think of the quality. But long story short, training. So failed December 1, haven't touched it since. Am I going to be touching it? No, not in the meantime. And I'll tell you why. When I got into it over the summer and then really went after it end of September, I was so motivated and ready to give it my all. And I did. I did that for 3 months. I paused a lot of things in my life to get there. It became my number one emotional priority. And what do you mean by that emotional priority? I mean that when you wake up and you're thinking, what do I want to do today? It was centered around breath holding. Everything else was a side quest. Breath holding was my main quest. So I did that for 3 months. I am probably I don't get burnt out. I just don't. But I recognize that if I continue down this road and I just continue to do it, I might lose a little bit of the passion, and I don't want to. I don't want to chase this and sacrifice everything else in my life. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm taking a break, and I'm going to be pursuing something else, which is unrelated, but close, not even close to related, but you could make a comparison, and I'm going to attempt to. So let's take a step back and reflect on my life. I was a nationally ranked swimmer in the United States here, and then I became a breath holder. And I also lift weights, but that's just because it's my hobby. I don't view it as a true athletic endeavor. What does breath holding and swimming have in common? It's you versus the clock, right? It's literally me versus the clock. Nothing else matters. There's no excuses. There's nobody that can interfere, or you are competing against other people, but not directly, indirectly. You're just comparing your time at the end against somebody else's. But there's actually no sort of intermingling when you do the activity. I really enjoy that. I enjoy that there isn't a lot of subjectiveness to the sport. It's very objective. Swimming, the guy across the pool in a quicker amount of time wins. There's no sort of, oh, well, there is the refs interfered, or I couldn't rely on my teammates. There's none of that. There's no excuses. It's you versus the clock in water. I love that. Breath holding, same exact thing. You're holding your breath for as long as possible. Nothing else matters. Swimming, I don't even know if I'll ever get back to swimming, to be honest, because I dedicated so much of my time to it. And although there's a part of me that feels like I didn't reach my potential, more or less I did. I mean, I gave it my all. And so I definitely reached potentials in my life. And what I mean by that is you reach a potential with an age threshold. So I think when I was 18, I almost reached my potential. College, I didn't reach my potential, but it is what it is. And if I went back to it, I don't know if I really want to. And I think that chapter on my life might be closed. I'm not closing it for certain, but there's other things I want to pursue, and I could be better at other things that I haven't tried. Breath holding, I certainly will go for the US national record again. It's only a matter of time. But that time is not going to be in the next few months, okay? So over these next few months, I'm thinking, what can I do? Because I always need something to do outside of work, outside of coding, a physical activity that brings me joy, that I have to challenge myself. Breath holding was excellent at that. But like I said, I'm not going to be doing that in the near future. So what am I going to turn to? Erging. Concept 2 specifically. I want to row 2,000 meters as fast as possible. My goal right now is to do it in under 6 minutes, which I know is more impossible than holding your breath for 8 minutes, or holding my breath for 8 minutes. But it's something that really motivates me. And if I look at everything I've been given, this is probably the perfect activity to go after that. And I'll tell you why. Number one is comparing it to swimming and breath holding. It's very much you against the clock, like we talked about. Concept 2, it's a standardized machine. Okay? There's not things you can do to bend the odds in your favor. Number 3, it's very physically taxing. Arguably the hardest physical activity measurement you could do. It is the gold standard of fitness. If you can row 2,000 meters quickly, you are a supreme athlete. It is the perfect combination of power, endurance, explosiveness, mental resilience, physical traits. It's all of that wrapped into one little presence that is so painful. And I've done it once, and my best time ever is 6:56. I want to get it to 5:56 or better. And I reached out to a guy who rowed at college, and he said he only knew one person under 6'6" who ever rowed under 6 minutes, and he was on the U.S. national team. So this endeavor that I've placed ahead of me is borderline impossible, and that's why I love it. I don't like doing things that I know I'm going to achieve. I like setting goals that are so improbable, that are so unrealistic, that the chances of me getting there are virtually zero. That's what gets me going. That's what wakes me up in the morning. That's what gets me motivated to go and train. So I'm going to be pursuing it. I have huge lungs. I'm 6'2" with a 6'4.5" wingspan. I'm an athletic gift from God. I think I can do it. And I have a mental capacity that few men have ever dreamed of having. So I know I can get close. I have no idea how hard it's going to be to go from 650 to 630, from 630 to 615, from 615 to 605, and then hopefully from 605 to 555 or whatever it may be. I don't know how my journey is going to progress. And maybe I am super arrogant and I'm going to come nowhere close to breaking 6 minutes, but at least I'm going to try and I'm going to give it my all. And if you think about it, there's nothing about this that needs a ton of training. There isn't a ton of technique. Everyone says, well, you have to know how to properly row. Guys, it's not that hard, okay? You just have to do it in a biomechanically advantageous way. But otherwise, you're not out there. It's not like learning how to be a ballerina. There isn't a ton of technique involved. You're sitting on a track. You're pulling a handle that is connected to a chain that moves a rotor, and that measures your output in watts. A little bit of a ramble. That's what I'm going to be doing. I plan on attempting or starting my training come early February, when I get down to Florida, in the sun every day. We have a Concept 2 at our house in Florida. I'm going to be doing it every single day. Well, maybe not every day, but I'm going to be doing it a lot. And I'm going to be weightlifting. I've already been weightlifting the last 3 weeks, coming out of my diet for the static apnea record attempt. I'm back up to around 185 pounds, a little bit lighter, but I'm certainly bulking. The goal is to have the gym complement the rowing. So I'm going to be lifting heavy. I have already been lifting heavy. I'm going to continue to do so. And I want to get as strong as possible. I want to get up to 200 pounds. I've never been 200 pounds before, dry weight in the morning. Obviously, I might have broken the scales past 200 at the end of the day after drinking and eating. But I've never been 200 first thing in the morning. I want to get to that weight. I think if I can get to that weight at 6'2", a lot of muscle. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of fat, but combined with my 6'4" wingspan and my ungodly sized lungs, I think I have a chance of breaking 6 minutes. And I know I can mentally push myself farther than most human beings. So that's what I'm going to be attempting. It's a little bit of a YOLO right now. I don't know exactly how it's going to unfold, but that will probably be what I will be sharing on this channel. And then maybe I might do a couple breath holds here and there for fun. But look, guys, this is going to complement my breath holding training because part of my theory of breath holding is I want bigger lungs, which rowing is going to give me a good chance at getting, and also higher blood volume, which you get higher blood volume through weightlifting and through cardio. Combined, those two things combined should theoretically give me a higher maximum breath hold. So next time I go for a breath hold attempt, I'll have all this under my belt. And I truly don't believe that when you do training, you lose everything. I think when you go through an intense round of training, your body makes changes. So I know that even if I take 3 months off of breath holding, when I get back into it, I'm going to be better than where I started. That's just a conviction that I have. Same thing that I've done with weightlifting in the past. Same thing that I've done with swimming. I haven't touched a pool in years, and I can get back in and get back to close to my prime in a matter of months. Breath holding won't be any different. So if you guys are out there thinking, well, dude, you're giving up a lot of time and you're giving up a lot of effort on this breath holding and you're going to lose a lot of progress, I disagree. I think I'm going to gain progress because I'm going to come back so fresh. My CNS is going to be so ready that when I do get back to breath holding, I'm going to make it count. So yes, that's my plan. My plan is to go into erging. I want to break 6 minutes. And if I break 6 minutes and I record it, I will certainly get a lot of people's attention. And why do I want that? I want to see if I can row so fast that maybe I have a chance at making the U.S. national team. Who knows? I've never done this before. I have no idea how it's going to progress. Also, I have a company that I've started with my co-founder, and that is taking up a lot of my time, and that is my emotional draw right now. That's what I wake up and I'm thinking about. That's what I'm going to be focusing on. That's another reason why I don't want to be doing breath holding right now. These aren't excuses, these are facts. And that's it. That's all I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little update, and I'll be making videos in the future, updating you guys as I go along this journey. But otherwise, I'll see you on the other side.